Welcome to day 9 of our biomolecules unit. Today is the last day that we're going to be taking pre-recorded notes, and today's notes are all about nucleic acids. So, as a reminder, we have talked about 4 different types of biomolecules after we will have finished this PowerPoint. One of them is carbohydrates. We talked about proteins, we talked about lipids, and today we're going to talk about nucleic acids. But something that I want you to realize is that nucleic acids are the only biomolecule that we do not consume. And by consume, I mean eat. So we can eat carbs, we can eat proteins, and we can eat lipids. But we do not eat nucleic acids because nucleic acids are something that already exist in the body. So we're going to start talking about nucleic acids and what they are and what makes them different than the other biomolecules. So we're going to get into it on the next slide, but please make sure that you are taking notes on your biomolecules organizer so that you can have this information for your summative. So we'll start off by talking about what the monomers of nucleic acids are. So a nucleic acid is made out of a nucleotide. We're going to spend a really long time next semester talking about nucleotides and what they are and what happens when you have a bunch of them. So what you need to know is that nucleotides are made out of a phosphate group, a sugar, and a base. Because of this phosphate group, that's going to add a new element that we have not seen into the biomolecule. So if we talk about the elements of nucleic acids, we're talking about carbon, we're talking about hydrogen, we're talking about oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphate. And that phosphate comes from that last slide where we looked at the structure of a nucleotide. The functions of nucleic acids. So, what purpose do nucleic acids serve in the body? What do they do to help us? The most important thing that nucleic acids do are store and transfer genetic information. So when we say genetic information, we're talking about what makes you who you are and what makes you do the things you do. So this could be something like having blonde hair versus brown hair, being short versus being tall, being a brown-eyed person versus a blue-eyed person, being a very coordinated, excellent athlete versus being a very clumsy, unathletic person. All of those things are based on nucleic acids. That's the genetic information that we're talking about when we talk about storing and transferring this information. So nucleic acids make you who you are. They also code for proteins, which is something that we're going to get into a little bit more next semester, but just know that they code for proteins for now. The examples of nucleic acids. So there are only 2 examples of nucleic acids in the human body. We have deoxyribonucleic acid, which you can see here in the picture is the double helix. When we break down this word, you'll see that the deoxyribo part of the word contributes to the D. The nucleic part contributes to the N. And then the acid part contributes to the A. So that's why we call it DNA, because it is made out of deoxyribonucleic acid. Another example of a nucleic acid, which we'll also talk about this next semester, is RNA, which you see here. RNA is a single strand, where this one has 2. We get the letters RNA from ribo, being your R, nucleic being your N, and acid being your A. So the 2 examples of nucleic acids are deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, or we can just be simple and call them DNA and RNA. So your DNA is what serves to make you who you are. That's where all your genetic information is stored from that last slide. And your RNA is what helps build that DNA and what also helps build the proteins that we talked about in the last slide. So, like I said, this is the only biomolecule that does not involve consuming it. These already exist in your body from conception. So when a child is made and an egg and a sperm come together, the DNA is created then. This is not something that you will consume. There is no food that contains a nucleic acid that will help support the body. It is the only one that is different than the rest. So you can eat carbs, you can eat proteins, and you can eat lipids, but you will not consume nucleic acids. They already exist in your body. So that's the last day of biomolecules notes for you guys. Please make sure you filled out your organizer. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in class tomorrow. Have a great day.